One of my favorite accessories. First try on my unfinished projects. Hi, welcome to a weekend vlog. I don't often do these, but I have some exciting things planned for this weekend, kind of like a crafty themed weekend, and I thought I would take you along with me. So today is currently Friday and I have off work. Sometimes I have Fridays off, which is nice, and my friend Sarah wanted to go to Joann to pick up some fabric. I will not deny a trip to visit Joann Fabrics. Some other things that we have planned this weekend. This is Super Bowl Sunday or Super Bowl weekend, so that's really exciting. But ever since Tom Brady left, it hasn't been the same. We're also expecting some decent amount of snow up here. I live just north of Boston with my husband, and they're predicting for this weekend like maybe 6 inches, maybe 8 inches. So we'll see how that goes. I am feeling really inspired to take a handle on my unfinished projects. So I'm feeling the energy to frog some things, start some new projects, and just reorganize. So that's the plan for this weekend. This stuff smells so good. So my outfit of the day, of course I'm wearing a piece of knitwear because it's winter and way too cold outside. I just have a green t-shirt on, and then I have my April cardigan that is a pattern by Petite Knit. I knit this out of a, oh my gosh, what is the name of the yarn? I think this is Estelle Alpaca DK. So this is a blend of alpaca and Highland wool. It's a charcoal gray color and just a great basic cardigan to throw on. I just have some regular blue jeans and I'm gonna throw on some bean boots because it's icy outside, and heading out now. The Sophie scarf has been one of my favorite accessories to wear ever since I finished it like last week, so it's definitely being worn today. Whew, brutal out there. The wind makes it so much colder than it actually is. Now, I don't really sew, but I have a desire to learn how to sew. Maybe I'll feel inspired to pick up something and maybe try a little project. So the plan for first sewing project are cute little quilted little box pouches, like with a zipper. So we're looking for some fat quarters of quilting cotton. We're just shopping around for some good patterns and some linings for the bag. Found the perfect lining fabric. It's like this light white checkerboard kind of gingham. I like it. Found the perfect sage green pattern. I'm just gonna get 1 yard of this so that way I can do a couple different small projects with it. I think that matches pretty well.
It does match pretty well.
That's a good match. I like that.
Yeah, I like that green.
All right, just spent a solid 2 hours at Joann. I am surprised that it took us that long to pick out like fabrics and figure out everything we needed to make those little zipper quilted pouches, but I'm really happy with the fabrics that I picked out, and we're headed off to lunch. We're going to a place called Pressed, which has been recommended to me by some friends. Never been there before. It's like a cafe, so they have like sandwiches. I think they have smoothie bowls and stuff, and I think it's like a local chain, so they have multiple locations, but I think it is pretty local to like north of Boston. So really excited to check it out. The water is a detox water with lemon, ginger, and mint. Pretty good.
This is the Cloud sweater by Petite Knit, and I knit it with the Lanes du Nord Basto with the Issier silk mohair. It's very soft, very cozy. Love wearing it.
I like it.
Love it. I'm making the Cloud blouse for my mom right now, so we love it.
Nice. It's stunning. We also match in our green shirts today. I picked up 2 juices. This one is Citrus Energy C with guava, orange, ginger, and lemon peel. And this other one is called Lemonade with lemon, juice, turmeric root, ginger, and agave. All right, here's what I got from Joann. So the goal is to make a little zippered quilted pouch. I have a pattern saved on Etsy. I forget the name of the designer, but I'm very likely to buy that pattern and, you know, print out the pieces. In terms of sewing materials, like I have a sewing machine, I have sewing thread. I did get this Fisker's kit of a rotary cutter and mat because that's something I don't have. I just got this basic thing because it was packaged together and seemed easy. Hopefully it works out well. I got some Project Fleece, which is a low loft batting that hopefully will work well for the pouch. Again, not really sure what I'm doing. This is all kind of like trial run. First time trying these types of projects. This is what I plan to use for the lining. Can you see? It's like very subtly checkered, and I got a yard of this as well as the other fabric, so plenty of fabric to do multiple bags. And then this fun sage green colored fabric for the outer. Got a pair of scissors that I plan on using strictly for fabric because I don't have currently a pair of scissors that I only use for fabric. It was a dual pack, but I split it with my friends so we could save the cost. They have little peppermint pinwheels on them. I think they were on clearance from Christmas. 3 different zippers. One of them is like an olivey green color to match the green fabric, and the rest are white. These should be long enough to do like a variety of those different pouches in the different sizes. Oh, and some water soluble pencils because I've heard of people using that for sewing. I think I'll find some use out of them. So there is knitting in this vlog. I am gonna work on my Traveler Hoodie, which has been like my favorite project to work on lately, and this is mine so far. So this is a sport weight pattern. I am using a sport weight yarn. This is Knit Picks High Desert Sport in the color Ponderosa Heather. I feel like this color really shifts depending on the lighting. The light in here is not great right now, so it looks very dark. Lighter in the daylight, it's a good neutral kind of olive green color. It's really springy, it's got a really tight twist, and so I really like working with it because it has great stitch definition. I am knitting my hoodie on 4.5mm needles for the body. I'm really loving how the fabric is turning out. I mean, just look at that. And at this point in time, my next step in the pattern is to shape the back panel. So it's knit bottom up, which is different from what I'm normally used to. And I did finish the front panel. So you can see it here, the front panel, obviously this is like your front neckline, and there is some short row shaping at the top of the shoulders, and then I'm going to basically do that same short row shaping to the back panel. So right now I just have the back panel. It's knit flat and no shaping until now, so I gotta go in and do some short rows, and then this crazy thing all comes together, 3 needle bind off with the front shoulder panel, and then I'll finally be able to try that on. So I'm really excited because I think tonight I'm gonna be able to finish the back panel and then try it on for the first time ever. Very exciting point in this drop shoulder bottom up sweater. Just finished all the short rows, about to resolve this. It's definitely the most satisfying row to knit through, resolving all those double stitches. So I'm ready for the 3 needle bind off for the shoulders, but I need a 3rd needle, hence 3 needle bind off. Of course, my 4.5mm needles are in use for like, I have at least three different sets of 4.5mm needles, so I did have to steal from one of my projects, so hopefully that one will be okay while I borrow this. 3 needle bind offs always make me feel like I'm doing some very complex knitting here. It's finished! You guys know what time it is. Time for the first try on of my Traveler. Now this is a funky pattern because this fabric really scrunches up a lot, so I'm expecting it to look somewhat ridiculous when tried on. Cute! I see the potential. There is that 3 needle bind off. Ooh, it looks pretty crispy. I like it. I was kind of expecting these to perfectly line up. You can kind of see how they're kind of offset, but I think that's just because of how the short rows were done. But from afar, it looks pretty cool. So I would probably want it to block out to maybe be this long, which I'm pretty confident that it will. My next step is to sew up these little panels at the underarms. I've never done that before, just have to do like a mattress stitch, and then I'll pick up for the sleeves. Hello, it's now Saturday and I just finished weaving in just about all of the ends on my Traveler. I actually ended up leaving one tail here at this underarm because my next step before picking up for the sleeves is to seam these underarms together with the mattress stitch. So I left this tail. For some reason the other side didn't have one, just with the way that the yarn was cut and added to the project, so I'll have to use a new piece of yarn for that. But I gotta go find a video tutorial on mattress stitch because I haven't done it in a long time. Moving along here with the Traveler. Not bad, that was pretty painless. Okay, so the reality of today is I spent most of the day napping and then needed like an hour or so to muster up some energy to do what I've been wanting to do this whole weekend, and that is tackle my unfinished projects. This project bag is one of my largest project bags. I actually kind of use this as like a place for the projects I don't want to work on. So I think it's time to go through it because it's getting a little bit full and I'm trying to stay on top of things, stay organized, and try to eliminate any knitter's guilt that I might have with some of these projects. All right, project number one I have here in my Knitting Swan yarn bag. This is in the Doodle Flowers pattern that actually is sold out right now, but they do have a couple other of these specific drawstring bags in stock and some other patterns. If you want to shop their bags, they're really cute. They have a lot of cute different styles. They also just came out with some solid colors. So I have this sapphire blue bag as well, which is adorable if you're looking for more of a subdued classic project bag. You can use the coupon code Amy to get 10% off your purchase. But in here, I use this project bag mostly for socks, and I do have an unfinished pair of socks. These are the Cassandra socks that I had test knit just one sock for. It's a free pattern by Sunday Morning Knits, and it's a cable sock pattern. So you can see the cable pattern going down the front of the sock. I'm ready to go for sock number 2. So I have all the yarn ready to go. I even kept the toothpick in here that I used for the cables on the sock. And at this point in time, I'm pretty comfortable doing cables without a cable needle, even in socks. So I think I might not need this, and maybe that'll make the sock project go by in a more enjoyable way. I am planning to pick this one back up as soon as I finish my current sock project, which were the Harriet socks by Summer Lee from Summer Lee's book, The Sock Project. I just finished this first sock, I gotta do the second sock, and then I'm not gonna allow myself to cast on any other sock project until I finish those Cassandra socks. My next project that I've not worked on in a while is my Velvet Mirror Cowl. This is a pattern by Mowry. I'm using one skein of spincycle dyed in the wool. This color here, I think it's called Nostalgia. And then I'm using as my other color just this undyed Surrey lace yarn held double to meet gauge, but for some reason this one just wasn't really like appealing my interest, so I didn't really have a lot of desire to pick it up and work on it. Like, I've had this on the needles for a few months now, and this is all the progress that I've made. I know a lot of you viewers really like this project. At the end of the day, I do have to do what's best for me, and I am thinking I'm gonna frog this one just because I don't really see myself finishing it. I also want to frog this because I have an interest in using the spincycle for something else that I think I'll have better luck with finishing, and that is Andrea Mowry's Inclinations Cowl. I have a shift cowl by Andrea Mowry. It's one of her cowl patterns that's knit on the bias. The shift cowl specifically uses mosaic knitting to create a really beautiful design, especially when used with some self-striping or color changing yarn such as spincycle. So this is my shift cowl here. I didn't actually use spincycle, I used Shopple Wool Edition 3, but it's stunning. I loved knitting this and I love wearing it, so I'm just really excited at the idea of knitting another one or another similar project. So the Inclinations Cowl caught my eye because it uses 2 different colors of spincycle yarn, so I will use this that I have here. I actually have 2 skeins of this, and then I have 2 other skeins of spincycle that I had gotten a de-stash, and so this is my other skein. This one is called Overshadow. I have the perfect quantity for the Inclinations Cowl and would love to cast it on. It's knit in Fisherman's Rib and does every other row with each of these alternating colors. As much as I love how this is turning out, I think there's just something with the Surrey. This is an extremely fluffy Surrey, and I held it double, which maybe wasn't the best call. Maybe I should have held it single. I do feel like it's taking over a lot of the spincycle color, so you can't really see it. It's also kind of hard to work with the color work. I think it's best to use that yarn in the Inclinations cowl, and I think these colors will go really well together. These are like very Amy colors with the dark maroon and the purpley blue. So say goodbye to Velvet Mirror. As sad as it is to frog something, this is making me feel pretty relieved, so I think that means it was the best decision. I think these are gonna look so cute together. Next up, we have my sundown shawl, which is a project I started earlier this winter, maybe late fall, and I lost steam on it. I know, I said don't lose steam on this one, Amy, because it's gonna be really easy since it's just a big rectangle. I was super excited to cast on this project. I'm using Originally Lovely Fluff, which is a really nice blend of alpaca and wool and polyamide. This is in the color Wolf, which is this really fun heathered brown. And I just really loved the idea of a giant kind of blanket scarf or like a big rectangle shawl that could just drape over my shoulders and my arms on really cold winter days. Like maybe something I can have like on the office chair just in case I get chilly while working. I think what happened is that I needed the needles. I was using 5.5mm needles on this and needed it for like my Sophie shawl and maybe something else, which is now finished. So the needles are free. So I think I just need to put the needles back on here and then get back to knitting on this. It's a very simple pattern repeat. You have some seed stitch and there is some mock cabling and ribbing. So it's a really easy knit, pretty mindless. Like I have the pattern memorized. So I think once this is back in the needles, I think if I just kind of leave it on the couch so I can work on it when watching TV, that could be good motivation to continue working on this project. But I'm not gonna frog this one. I just need to get it back in my rotation. The beginnings of my Inclinations cowl. So I think we got like 5 or 6 inches of snow. It's still coming down. Happy Sunday. I've been working on my Inclinations cowl and I've been loving it. I've really been enjoying knitting up these two yarns together. You can already see how they're sort of fading in and out with the half fisherman's rib. This is the right side. It looks really cool. And this is the wrong side, which also looks really cool, but I definitely like the right side better. I can already tell my interest in knitting up this project is way higher than it was with the Velvet Mirror cowl, so definitely made the right decision to frog that one and repurpose the yarn for something else. I am wearing one of my knit sweaters today. This is the Oslo sweater by Petite Knit. I knit this back in 2022 out of Sewek Tibet and some Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. It's gonna be a pretty chill Sunday. We gotta get out and shovel. If you can hear the snow blowers in the background, that's from our neighbors. I'm not really sure if the mic will pick them up. The snow did stop, so it seems like a good time to get out and clear off our cars and our driveway. Our neighbors snowplowed or snowblowed our sidewalks. That was really nice. One less thing for us to do. Today we're making an assortment of Super Bowl party foods. I'm gonna be doing barbecue chicken sliders and buffalo chicken dip. These are definitely like hardcore party foods, zero health benefits. Pink cabinets courtesy of the previous owners of our house. One of the best kitchen hacks I ever learned from the internet was shredding chicken in a stand mixer. So if you don't know to do that already, I definitely recommend it. Well, it's Sunday evening, I'm about to get ready for bed, and I think this is a great spot to wrap up the weekend vlog. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and joining me on my crafty weekend. I did make some significant progress on my Inclinations cowl during the Super Bowl game, and I'm just really loving how this fabric is knitting up. It's so cute. If you like this style of video, let me know in the comments so I can plan to do more in the future, and if you want to keep up with me and my knitting projects, feel free to subscribe to my channel here where I post knitting videos every week, and feel free to tune into my podcast videos where I have detailed updates on all of my knitting projects. You can also find me on Instagram where I'm ne_knits, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.